The story opens with Aragorn standing at the borders of Mordor, where the dark clouds still loom even after Sauron's defeat. Though peace has returned to Gondor, whispers of Gollum's survival spread among the rangers. Aragorn senses that the creature, obsessed with the ring, may yet cause harm if left unchecked. Despite his duties as king, he knows the hunt must continue to ensure Middle-earth's safety. His journey begins with a quiet farewell to Arwen, who fears the darkness may consume him. Far to the north, traces of Gollum are found near the Misty Mountains. Rangers report sightings of a twisted figure lurking among shadows, feeding on scraps and muttering to himself. Aragorn assembles a small band of loyal companions to track him once again. The task feels heavier than before, for the world is trying to heal, and chasing ghosts of the past threatens to reopen old wounds. Still, Aragorn believes Gollum's tale is not finished. As they travel, they discover strange signs of Orc activity that should have died out after Sauron's fall. Villages are raided, and prisoners vanish without a trace. It seems that remnants of evil are trying to regroup in secret. Aragorn realizes Gollum may not be alone this time, and that someone or something might be using him. The chase becomes not only about capturing Gollum but unraveling a darker mystery. Meanwhile, Gollum wanders alone, torn by his fractured mind. His Smeagol side longs for peace and food, while his darker half continues to whisper about the ring's return. Though the ring is destroyed, his obsession warps reality, making him believe fragments of its power still exist. This madness drives him into deeper, darker places where no man dares to tread. His journey becomes one of survival and delusion. Aragorn and his company pass through ruined lands scarred by war, where survivors fear shadows in the night. Along the way, they encounter an elven scout sent by Legolas with urgent warnings. The elves believe Gollum has ventured into forgotten tunnels beneath the mountains, places once home to nameless terrors. Aragorn realizes the hunt is leading them into regions darker than Mordor itself. Yet he presses forward, knowing hesitation could be fatal. Their pursuit grows more perilous when they encounter a band of orcs led by a mysterious new chieftain. Unlike the scattered remnants Aragorn expected, these orcs are organized and emboldened. In battle, they speak of a lost master whose return they await. The connection between this figure and Gollum remains unclear, but Aragorn senses manipulation at work. Every clue tightens the knot of uncertainty. In the shadows of the mountains, Gollum stumbles upon these orcs. At first, they capture him, mocking his frail form and twisted speech. Yet his cunning and obsession with the ring intrigue their leader. They see in him a tool, a guide into ancient ruins and dark places untouched for centuries. Gollum, desperate for survival, promises secrets and leads them further underground. His mind convinces him this will bring him closer to his precious. As Aragorn's party tracks Gollum, they must cross the treacherous passes of Caradhras once again. The weather is harsh, the mountains unforgiving, echoing old journeys of the Fellowship. Memories of Frodo and the ring resurface, weighing heavily on Aragorn's spirit. He begins to wonder whether his pursuit is about Gollum, or his own need to lay the past to rest. His companions remind him that their duty is to prevent history from repeating. Within the deep tunnels, Gollum awakens ancient stirrings. Echoes of forgotten beasts and whispers of Morgoth's age haunt the caves. The orcs believe this darkness will grant them power, but Gollum is only chasing illusions of the ring. He begins to see visions, half hallucination, half memory, where Frodo and Bilbo taunt him with the loss of the ring. The torment twists him further into madness, making him unpredictable. Aragorn's company finally clashes with the orcs in the tunnels. The fight is brutal, fought in near darkness with echoes of steel and cries reverberating off the walls. Amid the chaos, Gollum slips deeper into the caves, vanishing once more into shadow. Aragorn defeats the Orc Chieftain but learns little of the lost master. His frustration grows, knowing Gollum is always one step ahead. Yet he vows not to abandon the hunt. Gollum's wandering leads him to a hidden lake deep underground, shimmering with ghostly light. In the water, he sees a distorted reflection of himself, half Gollum, half Smeagol. For a brief moment, Smeagol pleads for peace, to let go of the torment. But the darker voice within mocks him, declaring that without the ring, he is nothing. The conflict within him grows fiercer than ever, as if the ring's shadow still chains his soul. Aragorn and his companions pause to rest in an abandoned dwarven outpost. Here they uncover carvings and writings warning of an ancient creature that once dwelled beneath the mountains, feeding on lost travelers. The dwarves believed it had been sealed away, but recent disturbances suggest otherwise. Aragorn realizes that Gollum, in his madness, may have led the orcs straight to it. The hunt now feels like a race against doom. The deeper they go, the more Aragorn's men begin to lose heart. Strange whispers follow them in the dark, and shadows shift unnaturally. Trust falters among them as exhaustion sets in. Aragorn must stand as their anchor, reminding them of what they fight for, to prevent evil from rising again. Yet in quiet moments, even he feels the heavy weight of despair pressing down. Gollum, guided by hallucinations of the ring, approaches the lair of the ancient beast. The orcs follow, hoping to harness the monster's power for themselves. But once inside, they realize they have awakened something far beyond their control. A monstrous presence stirs, shaking the tunnels with its hunger and rage. Gollum, laughing and crying at once, believes this creature will help him reclaim his precious. Aragorn's group arrives just as the beast breaks free, tearing through orc ranks with horrifying strength. In the chaos, Gollum slips through the cracks, his shrieks echoing in the dark. Aragorn leads his men in a desperate battle, their courage pushed to the limit. Though many orcs are slain, the beast proves nearly unstoppable. Only by collapsing part of the tunnel do they manage to contain it, barely escaping with their lives. In the aftermath, Aragorn is left with more questions than answers. Gollum is gone once more, vanished into the blackness. The orcs spoke of a master, and the beast's awakening hints at darker forces still stirring. Aragorn feels as though they are chasing shadows, yet he knows abandoning the hunt would be a greater danger. He resolves to continue no matter the cost. As they regroup, Aragorn receives a vision in his dreams. He sees Gollum standing on a precipice, torn between light and darkness, forever consumed by what he lost. The dream leaves him shaken, unsure if Gollum is merely a victim of fate or the key to a greater evil. Arwen's voice in the vision urges him to have compassion, but the warrior in him knows mercy may be dangerous. This inner conflict deepens as the journey goes on. Meanwhile, Gollum flees higher into the mountains, exhausted and broken. His Smeagol side begs for release, for peace and an end to the torment. Yet the darker voice drives him on, insisting the hunt for the ring never ends. Alone in the cold wilderness, he mutters to himself endlessly, a pitiful figure trapped by obsession. His presence remains a threat, for even in weakness, madness has power. The film closes with Aragorn standing at a cliff's edge, looking out over Middle-earth at dawn. He knows Gollum still roams free, a shadow of the ring's evil lingering in the world. The king understands the hunt is far from over, but also that some evils cannot be slain by the sword alone. With resolve and sorrow, he swears to continue the chase, not just to protect his people, but to confront the ghosts of their past. The hunt for Gollum is destined to be a story without end.